Hello everybody, welcome to my build guide, or better to say my take on Cold DoT Occultist that uses Vortex and Cold Snap. Now when I decided to play this build, I was looking at PoE Ninja, I was looking at some inspiration to what other people are playing, how they played, and what I realized that when I put those items into trade website and when I searched and made a build for myself, I realized that I'm gonna need like between 150 and 200 exalts to get those stats. So I decided to just build it myself because I don't have that time to play and collect that kind of money. So I'm gonna try to keep it under 50 exalts, and I did. The build completed everything in the game. It does very well. What you're looking at behind is tier 16 Delirium Promenade map, and I just used Xena mod to craft a rampage. The build performs really well, even with the league mechanic. The clear speed is not the best, definitely, but it's not bad, especially with the Volt Cold Snap, which is definitely a must thing to have. So I'm gonna show you my gear, I'm gonna show you my skill tree. This is gonna be two-part video. On the second video I'm just gonna post basically maybe unedited boss skills, because the build has completed everything in the game at Awakener level 9, and just by changing some stuff and understanding what this build needs to work will save you a lot of money. Of course you can, if you decide, you know what, I want to play this build completely, I want to min-max it, you can definitely use my template and then just swap some items and improve some items, which I will also tell you how to do. So let's get going with the gear. So let's quickly go over the gear that we are using. So a couple of mandatory unique items. Rhyme Gaze, very good item, gives us damage, gives us energy shield, and it's our helm that we slot Wild Cold Snap. Definitely needs to be a Wild Cold Snap because Wild version of this skill increases our clear speed immensely and helps with the league mechanic. We suck at Control Destruction, Hypothermia, and Bone Chill. As our chest, we use Chevron's wrappings because we are going low life, and chaos damage does not bypass energy shield is important for us on this item. We use Vortex, Hypothermia, Control Destruction, Efficacy, Awakens Fifth Affliction, and Elemental Focus. I definitely recommend getting Awaken gems because they're super cheap this league and definitely worth using. On our amulet, we use Presence of Chayula. We allocate Tranquility with 1 Azure oil and 2 golden oils. Before you actually anoint this, you will not see it on the skill tree. It only appears after it has been anointed. But as you can see, 1 Azure and 2 gold oils are needed, which gives us Transfugations of Soul. And that makes our increases and reductions to maximum ES applied to all spell damage. Mark of the Shaper, increased ES, spell damage, but we have to, on our second ring slot, we have to use Elder Ring. On that ring you need a high dex roll and energy shield and resistances. So that's your focus for the secondary ring. It doesn't have to be Opal base, it can be any base you want. But as I said, dexterity roll is a must-have, and then energy shield and resist. Those are the first 3 things you focus on. Prism Guardian makes that we get +2 to aura gems, really good, and then we have Socketed gems cost and reserve life instead of mana, which is really nice. We use Hatred, Determination, and Malevolence inside of this shield, and then it is being reserved as our life. Weapon, +1 to all cold. Damage over time multi, cold damage over time multi. Spell damage if you can, great. Gloves, try to look for at least 150 energy shield. Get some resistances. It's nice if you can get cold damage over time multiplier, but those can be really expensive, and as I said at the beginning, I'm trying to keep this relatively cheap. And the build has plenty damage, so just getting gloves like this with res and high ES is more than enough. On your belt slot, you need a high strength roll. Definitely, like the first stat you need to look for is a strength roll. Crystal belt, strength roll, and then look for ES. You can get these belts for around 3 exals, and they are wonderful. They are really good. If you can get another resist, even better. Boots, movement speed, energy shield, try to look for at least 190, 200 ES. So those are the items, as I said, very simple stuff, very cheap stuff and effective. On our flasks, Rumi's, great flask, and then overflowing chalice is really good. Movement speed flask as a quicksilver, and then the last two flasks you can use whatever you see fit. I'm using silver flask because I like onslaught movement speed, and I'm experimenting with basil flask for the taunt, and it seems to be working really well. So other skill setups are our curse setup, which is Bane, linked to punishment, elemental weakness, and frostbite. Frostbite and elemental weakness are used to reduce the elemental resistance, and punishment is only effective after enemy reaches 50% life, which is then counted as low life, and then it takes increased damage. Now this curse setup is absolutely incredible, and after something reaches 50% life, our damage skyrockets, so definitely a must-have curse setup. In our boots, we are using Tempest Shield, we are using Clarity, Discipline, and Vitality. In our wand, we are using Flame Dash, Frost Bomb. Frost Bomb is used to apply cold exposure, which gives another 15% to cold res, and Defiance Banner. Defiance Banner seems to be really good because it reduces the enemy critical strike chance, and it gives us increased armor and evasion. Alright, when it comes to our passive tree, I'm gonna go over ascendancies first. Malediction for an extra curse, Void Beacon, minus cold res for enemies, Frigid Wake cannot be chilled, cannot be frozen, 15% more cold damage. Frigid Wake is a beast of a ascendancy node. Vile Bastion, ES region, and as you kill enemies it's gonna stack up and you're going to get more and more energy shield regeneration. So back to the tree, we are focusing on getting ES. We are using energy from within in this slot, which then transforms these nodes to give us energy shield. We are using mana reservation here and here. And when it comes to jewels, we are using a large radius, Thread of Hope, so we can get Blast Radius, Arcane Focus, Essence Surge, and Heart of Ice. Cluster jewels, we are going to be using Deep Chill and Prismatic Heart. So the idea why we have the Widespread Destruction rolled is it makes the jewel roll in this order. So if you have Deep Chill, Prismatic Heart, Widespread Destruction, it basically saves you 1 point getting to these other 2 jewel slots. So we are using 2 copies of those, but we are only using Deep Chill and Prismatic Heart. Prismatic Heart is really good for us, and we are actually building around 10 to all elemental resistances on our jewels, because we use 2 times Prismatic Heart, which is 20, then we use 3 times jewel like this. They cost between 5, maybe 10, sometimes 15 chaos. They vary in price, but they are extremely cheap, usually under 20 chaos, which is cold damage over time multiplier, increased maximum energy shield, and 10 to all elemental resistances. By using 3 of those and 2 times Prismatic Heart, that gives us 50 to all resistances, which is amazing and saves a lot of money because we don't have to roll high tier resistance or our gear. Now on our medium cluster, we are using Brush with that. Again, damage over time multiplier, ES recovery and kill, Vile Reinvigoration, damage over time, increased ES, energy shield regeneration if we killed recently, and we usually are killing something, so good. Watcher's Eye, there's a lot of options here because we're using a lot of auras. I definitely recommend getting damage multi while affected by malevolence, and then energy shield regeneration with discipline. Great mode is going to be 10% of maximum mana as ES while affected by clarity, but those are really expensive. However, a good cheap alternative is going to be getting unaffected by some curses while affected by determination. That's a really good option as well. You can save some money by not going for damage over multiplier on Watcher's Eye and actually getting it on your gloves. So you're kind of trading the money there. You're gonna pay more for your gloves but less for your Watcher's Eye. But I got this Watcher's Eye myself, so it's good. So those are the clusters. 2 times, again, Deep Geo Prismatic Heart, and it's very important it has rolled widespread destruction. You're not using it, but it needs to be rolled. Also, we are using Zealot's Oath, which makes our life regeneration is applied to our energy shield instead. That's why we are using Vitality. And other than that, I'm just gonna quickly go over the masteries. So, Aura Effect, Discipline Efficiency, Damage over Time Multiplier, ES Region, Clarity Efficiency. I'm using Frenzy, but you can actually, you don't have to use anything here, and you can actually use that point somewhere else, but I'm experimenting with this, but this doesn't have to be used. You can actually use this point somewhere else as you see fit to get more ES or to just get another node. This is a level 95 skill 3. Increase damage per 5 of your lowest attribute. Vitality Efficiency. Exposure you inflict gives another -18 to affected resistance. 3% of maximum mana as maximum energy shield. And cold exposure you inflict applies additional -5 to cold res. We are using Whispers of Doom for additional curse. As I mentioned on the gear showcase, we are using a 3 curse setup. So if you do decide to push this build and min-max it, I told you I will show you how to do it. It's expensive, but let's get to it. Let's get to the gear. You would get the gloves with cold damage over time multiplier, tier 1 resistances, and at least 150 energy shield or more. You would craft or buy Hubris Circlet that has a lot more ES, but I don't think it would actually beat Rhyme Gaze when it comes to damage. +2 to Aura Gems on Prism Guardian, and +2 AoE gems or duration gems on Shavs. And then you can get a ring that has another strength roll. Then it goes like 55 dex, 55 strength, energy shield, tier 1 resistance, which would save you 1 point on physique. And if you respec your frenzy mastery here and you level yourself to 97, you would get another medium cluster like this one, which would again get us more ES, get more damage, but as I said, no need, so I didn't do it. I would rather play something else and spend my money there to have some more fun. On your belt you would get more armor, like tier 1 roll, and on your weapon you would go for plus all spells and +1 to cold spells, so it gives you +2. On your Shav, as I said, +2 Shav, and then you swap efficacy for Empower level 4, which then boosts your damage immensely, but these improvements are going to cost you around 100x to do. On Watcher's Eye, well, sky's the limit. Malevolence, Discipline, add regen with Vitality, or maximum mana as maximum energy shield. Those Watcher's Eyes are extremely expensive, but as I said, doable if you want to push this build. And if you really like this build, no reason not to push it. It's already good, it already does everything. If you improve it even more, if you invest more, it's going to do everything a bit faster and safer, I guess. So there's that. Anyway, this concludes the video on our Pantheons. We will be using Soul of Lunaris. I was lazy to fill up the rest of it, but Soul of Aberrath is really good because then we are unaffected by Burning Ground and less duration of Ignite on you. So we are cold and chill immune, we are shock immune because of our Tempest Shield, and then because of our Pantheon we are unaffected by Burning Ground, which makes this build really good. I would definitely recommend playing this. I was looking at this build for a couple of leagues, never got to playing it, but now that I did play it, it's really good. It excels at bossing, it has a decent clear speed. It's basically a build that does everything good. It doesn't excel at clear speed, but it's a good build. It feels really good, the damage is really good, and I would definitely recommend playing it. And sometimes, you know, you look PoE Ninja, you're like, what should I play? If you haven't played this, definitely give it a go. You can use my guide. There's plenty of other guides probably. There is some ideas on PoE Ninja. You can follow other people. That's fine too. Find what works best for you, and I hope this build helped you. If you like this content, if you would like to see more, like, subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.